welcome everybody. My name is Mads with the Top Shelf on TPK Roleplay. For those who are not familiar with the show, this is a live stream tabletop role-playing game variety show in which we showcase a different, typically, tabletop role-playing game every week, usually independent stuff. This particular week, we're actually showcasing a system-agnostic bestiary, currently live on Kickstarter, by the fantastic Pearse Anderston, who I've been chatting with a little bit prior to this. But we'll throw up some links to that here in just a second when we introduce everybody. But because it is a system-agnostic collection of monsters, or beasts, critters, companions, whatever you want to call them, we are playing Mothership tonight. This is going to be the beta rules for Mothership. The old stuff you saw me play with the Icaros one-shot that I did for the 14 Days of Halloween 2 years ago. Same rules that we were using then, but 1E is on its way out, and we're going to do a whole other episode on that later, so it felt appropriate to use the vintage stuff in Season 2 so that we can have a conversation about the comparisons between. I'm very excited for the new content. But that being said, we're going to introduce everybody in order of their overlays. We'll start with Max, and then Logan, and then Pearse. If you want to round us out, everybody tell us who you are, where we can find you, and then Pearse specifically, if you want to talk a little bit about your Kickstarter, and then we'll get into everything.
Yeah, hello. I am Max Lander. You can find me on Twitter at MaxwellLander with 2 L's, not 3. Yeah, I'm playing a nerdy McNerd today. I'm excited.
Oh, it's me. I'm Logan. I'm Logan Dean. I'm on Twitter at L__Dean, the long L. I am playing Truck Russell, Teamster, and large Firebat Rancher.
Wonderful. I am Pearse. Pearse Anderston. You can find me at Pearse Anderston. That's one word. Pearse spelled like pears with an E. Anderson, S-O-N. I am playing Tamagatchi Wyherd, an android, here on the Desert Moon of Karth. My book is Critters and Companions. It's a system-neutral farm guide and bestiary. Focuses on 30 different animals to be declawed, fed, bred, worshipped, and used and cooperated with, whether those are pets or guard animals in the case of this firebat, or in my character's case, breeding stock for elephants. It's beautifully illustrated by Logan Stahl and kickstarting until June 23rd. And we're hoping the more stretch goals are unlocked, the more illustrations we could have until every single animal of the 30 is given a full color illustration. So you can check it out. I'm sure I'm going to post the links soon.
Already posted. We are good there. Yeah, thank you for that. Link is in the chat. We're going to showcase just 4 of these fantastic critters today, but I'm sure they're all going to be a good time. I've looked over it. The art is delightful. We are well over halfway to its regular funding goal at the moment, with 25 days to go. So if you're enjoying the animals, go take a look at the Kickstarter, as well as give that a back so that we can get some more art in there. I'm always a fan of fully illustrated books. However, we start our adventure today on the Desert Moon of Karth. It is ranching and mining and somewhat of a desolate place to, hole up to, live out your days. We are beginning the adventure at Krieg Ranch, which is a little ways off from these 3 fantastic ranches, all part of a collective under the Valley Rangers, a group on the Moon of Karth who is dedicated to making sure that the natural wildlife is conserved as best as can be, and are also in charge of a lot of the animal husbandry and breeding stock for whatever purpose that it may hold on this particular moon. Now, before we actually touch down on the ranch, would all 3 of y'all like to describe tell us a little bit about the animals that you've got following you around. Most of the ranchers here have got their own stock that they breed, and most of the ranchers within this particular group on Karth will keep, one as their favorite to hang out with, just because they everything does something different. Everything's got its own personality, and who doesn't love a pet? Also, it's a good promo for the Kickstarter, but I'm not narratively weaving that in or anything. Pearse, what are we looking at for? What are you bringing along?
So Tom here is farming the Ethrest, which is this large pachydermis, but golden retriever colored animal. However, the Ethrest is difficult because although it does breed with elephants, the offspring are infertile. So it's kind of kept around similar to a mule or a donkey, and can also be ridden. It's pretty massive. Its feet can be used as stools or couches. And so Tom probably has one to walk along the path to Pre-Branch and back, no matter the weather. The Ethrest can take it.
Very good. What about you, Truck Russell?
Oh, Truck breeds heirlooms, which are big fire bats that have alcohol meat.
That's all you need to know.
I got about 250 heads of these. I keep them in a big warehouse out back. I keep one on me at all times. His name is Kevin.
I have to break there because you named your firebat Kevin. Kevin is my absolute favorite generic name for things. Like, I know for a long time it was like Bob or something. Kevin is the thing that I name everything if I cannot think of a name. So that delights me immensely.
You and me have that in common.
And Cormac Dewitt, carrying around.
So simple. It's like fire bats with alcohol meat, whatever. So the creature that I ranch is called a Wonderit, and they look different all the time. I have one that I think probably I have one that I'm not wholly convinced is the same one because it's showed up in different forms. Whether or not that's it seems like whether or not that's a physiological change or just like some kind of visual illusory change, we don't fully know. And so at the very least, one follows me around and appears as a different kind of animal or creature when it hasn't been looked at for a while. That's what you said, right? When nobody looks at it, it's like invisibility from that one superhero,
Mystery Men.
Yeah, yep. Oh God, that's a good show. What does it look like now?
I think today it kind of looks a little bit more normal than I think it usually would. It's just like a really, really big Irish wolfhound, but instead of having stringy hair, each hair is what are they called? That they have them in water creatures where they're just like little tendrils. They're not full tentacles, but just the little tiny tendrils that feel things but are very thin and very stringy. I'll find a word. It'll be fine.
I remember the word in my head, but
I'll find the smart people word. I'm playing a scientist. It's gonna be great. I'll find the smart people word later.
I'm gonna ask you all the complicated questions because I want to know, because I think it's funny. Why are you ranching these things?
I mean, I think it's like a pure curiosity.
Okay.
There's just a scientific interest in what the H are they? Is there any consistency between them? Are they even the same species?
Okay.
They're just very fascinating.
Sounds good. So Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Tom, as an android, probably doesn't have that much life in his own person, So I think they would want to breed animals and herd animals because at least then they're bringing some life into the world outside of their metal exterior.
That's incredibly wholesome. Nobody will gain stress from that.
Oh God, this is my retirement. I ran shipments all around the rim, outer rim, inner rim, 725 years collectively. So I saved all that money. I bought myself this plot. I got this 250 hit, and this is my retirement. So, leave me alone.
Wouldn't that be nice? Because you all have received a call to aid your fellow Valley Rangers Rancher Union. We have some trouble at one of the ranches, and you three are meeting with two other landowners over at the Krieg Ranch, one of which would be the owner of the Krieg Ranch, Lisa Krieg. But as you all travel that direction, you arrive on kind of the footsteps of this porch contained under the self-refreshing biosphere that keeps the ranch intact on such a desolate moon. And Lisa Krieg is having tea with who you would know as Billups Warburton, another rancher. He's an interesting fellow. Him and his wife ranch Renair, which are little tiny flightless birds, plump, waddling, kind of like a booby, kind of like a penguin, kind of like those little goofy things you see in Star Wars that are running around, but gray and blue in coloration. The folks on Karth use them primarily for two things. Every rancher needs an almanac, and these animals are great at detecting weather and direction, as long as they're kept trained and fed properly. And they also produce eggs, which is just a staple in general. Cheap, and you can get a lot of them, and one ranch can hold a lot of these tiny birds. So you're working with Miss Krieg and Billups Warburton are both having tea. They see you three arrive. One of them kind of goes wide-eyed at the fact that you would have brought along one of your stock, Tom. But as you all show up, Lisa's gonna wave you over and be like, "Well, come on over, have a seat. We got some stuff to discuss. Mr. and Mrs. Warburton are having some troubles, and we could use all the help we can get." Now, are any of you doing anything, or are you just acquiescing this?
Little
have some tea.
Like leash, like if there's a horse tie out front.
There would be.
Largely just because I probably know this well, but mine eats a lot of living things, so I feel like having it just like roaming about might not be the best. They don't seem mean. They just gotta eat, like the rest of us.
Fair enough. As you approach and lash your animal down, you see one of these little Renairs run out from under Billups' chair and kind of dart across the porch, and you see your creature just kind of tug at the leash that's been freshly locked up.
Yeah, Kevin's probably not coming in either. He's probably circling up above. But if I give him a whistle, be here in a jiff.
Yeah, I think Tom is atop the Ethrest and not coming down because that takes a ladder. Because it's probably a good 9 feet, and I don't think Tom is convinced yet that this Renair problem, whatever it is worth their energy to kind of disembark.
Okay.
Tea, though. Tea's expensive. I'll have some tea.
Tea is indeed expensive. Pour a glass for everybody. You're going to have to come down if you want some, though. I ain't reaching that high.
Sure, yeah. Fine. I'll take it.
Okay.
As an android, it's difficult, but the moment means more than the object.
Fair enough. She continues and introduces Billups, who you might have met once or twice before, but they typically keep to themselves, more or less. And she goes, "Now, Billups, part of our wonderful union here, and his wife, their Renair population has been accosted by something. Can't be 100% sure of what, but they live out next to the Zangief caldera, and something has been scooping up their flock and wandering back into the caldera with it, and we've got trouble on a little moon. It does not normally happen out here, and if any of y'all know anything or are willing to investigate, as the head of the union myself, I am more than happy to compensate for your efforts, whatever form that may be helpful to y'all.
I'm mentally reminding myself not to obviously check the like teeth area of all of my creatures when we leave.
I think I'm patting my low wallet in my pocket and thinking about this offer.
You're saying something's coming and grabbing? Something's coming and grabbing your stock?
And Billups will speak up here, and he goes, "You damn right it is.
That's gotta
I've
be.
been- Second story window of the ranch, I was looking out on that caldera one night, and you see the low light of the actual sun glancing off the planet. Ricochets onto that horizon line. You know how it is. And we watched
I live here.
a couple of them walk up over the edge of that caldera, saunter, burst into a sprint, leap the fence, and then, much as the fantastic game of football, they would just lean down, scoop up 4 or 5 birds, and then just turn tail and run.
All right.
Now that is 4 weeks into this happening without any trace, and I stayed up a whole sleepless night or two in order to even be able to see that. So that's the first time we've heard about it, but at this point we're about 40% down from what our original flock was.
So they keep coming?
Seems to be, yeah.
And you haven't set up any traps?
Oh, we have. And he actually leans down off the side of his chair and pulls up basically what looks like the top head of an auto turret that's just been bashed to pieces.
Oh, dear.
Slaps it down on the table. The tea kind of wobbles, and you can see Lisa like scrambling to keep things together. And he goes, "Those weren't like that before this all started. We'd hear the guns go off, and then things would leave. And then one night, we didn't hear any guns go off, and animals were gone. We went out to check on the animals. Turrets were torn to pieces. So whatever it is, I assume it's smart, but it ain't a person."
Huh.
Is there claw marks or further signs of destruction on the turret that we can inspect?
You may indeed. Let me grab the skills
Into the
here.
first roll.
Yes, it is.
Hmm.
Let's see here. Where are general stats looking like? Where are the general stats? Like, okay, there we go. Just give me an intellect roll for this.
Okay. Ooh, nope. Fail. By
Okay.
2.
Sounds good. So, no, this thing looks battered to hell. Like, he brought it in, and you could tell it's an auto turret by the crumple of the barrels, but, like, this thing tinfoiled this fucking gun. And there's not a whole lot to be discerned from it.
You said you saw them?
Well, yeah, I mean, I saw 3 of them. I don't know how many had normally been coming by, but that night there were 3. They popped up out of the caldera, which is why I know where they're coming from, and then they, yeah, burst into a sprint, went from bipedal to all fours.
What do they look like?
Big? I don't know. I know what I farm. I'm good at birds, okay? It was no bird.
I believe that. Doesn't look like this. Doesn't
Great.
look like a bird.
Great, big and not a bird.
Big,
Got it.
Not a bird. It's more information than we had 10 minutes ago. All right. Well, if it's this big, then I should probably be worried about my stock. Tam might not have to worry. I don't think one of these things could take one of those. What do you call those things again?
the Ethrest? Well, it could poke out their eyes. You know, it's always a problem.
I guess it seems like it wants to take it back with them, though. It'd be a hard sell to drag one of those things.
Are there any eggs coming on the market, like unregistered egg sellers? I'm just thinking, what would someone want to do with all these Renairs? Maybe they're starting a separate farm of their own.
Well, you're thinking that people are... You think that this is the people that are stealing these and not just some fucking moon coyote running in and eating them.
Poachers.
Guess it's possible. I don't know. Never seen somebody that big, though.
Rustlers.
Could be.
Unless
they're coming in on in like power armor of some sort to.
Yeah, with like tractor arms. Like what?
It's far out. You got to get. I mean, even to get down on planet, you got to get through the defense grid.
It's true.
Sneaky stuff, whatever it is. Look, I don't care what it is, as long as you can put a stop to it. If you can bring any of my flock back, great. If not, just make sure they're not taking any more.
Yeah, I mean, danger to one of these farms is danger to all our farms. So I'm down to check it out. I got some classified military training in my background that might come in handy.
That's not something I should be worried about ever, right?
Yeah, don't even worry about it. I'm retired.
Oh, well, yeah, you're fine then. All right, what say the other two of you?
I want to side with the truck. I feel like we all have something to lose, but also part of my heart goes out to someone who's retired after 700 years. You know, I've been alive almost that long, and I want the last few years to be a good one. So even if my Ethrest are in no danger, I'm willing to help.
All right.
I just want to know what they are.
Well, only way to find out is to go after them.
I guess we gotta take a look at the ranch.
Good call, considering the location they're stealing from's right outside it. I can walk you back.
I already have my exploration gear. To help, yeah.
Well, I got some guns back at the ranch if you're really interested in thinking you're gonna need it.
I need a drink, and I take out a package of beef jerky, like jerky, and I just start gnawing on it. Refreshing.
I've always wondered about that, actually.
Yeah, you want to try some?
Well, yes, please. And he'll take a piece, but he goes, and he's starting to get up as he's like walking off a direction to grab what looks similar to like a camel. Not quite a camel, but he climbs on it to go take the trek back to his ranch, and he's eating the jerky and talking to you, and he goes, "Now, I understand that you're flying critters up there. They are alcoholic."
They aren't. They aren't alcoholics. Their meat is alcoholic.
That's what I said.
They don't consume alcohol. That would be dangerous.
That is peculiar. I have two questions now. I guess the first one's easier. What happens if they consume alcohol?
It's a mess. They end up just blowing up.
Oh, God.
All right. My Lord.
Yeah, it's bad.
Fair enough.
It's bad.
Okay, so second question.
Hit me.
Does the alcohol content of their meat get stronger if you dehydrate it like this?
No, this is maybe an aperitif, maybe like a cordial. If you eat it raw, that's the strongest the alcohol is, and then you kind of cook it down.
Okay.
But I eat this throughout the day just to keep a slight buzz on.
All right, fair enough. He's kind of
the gun one
while he heads out. Of course, he's the gun one. He makes his own jerky. He's got a fire bat that explodes if you let him have a sip too. Like it works.
And we all know his weakness. Just feed the bat.
Yeah, maybe my MREs will have alcohol, and later, if necessary, we could. I don't want to sacrifice Kevin, but I just want to make a note.
Whoa! Kevin is my boon companion.
Are you not eating like Kevin's cousin right now? Like,
I mean, this is what farming is.
Yeah.
We can't all be taking notes all the time, Cormac.
Truck, you're gonna take a stress from that. He just
Wipe the
offered to
sweat
eat
from my
your
brow.
friend, or
I'm
blow
gonna
up your
eat it.
friend, rather.
I'll take another stick of jerky out and I
Yeah.
just start gnawing on it.
Okay, so Billups leads you back to the Warburton Ranch, and you can see the crest of the caldera that he's talking about on the horizon line, just beyond the fence at the back of his property. And he leads you into the house, and you're quickly greeted by the smell of like mincemeat pies and quiche. By the kitchen, as Janice walks out, kind of dusting herself off of flour and wiping her hands down, and she looks at the three of you and goes, "Was this y'all here for taking care of the problem then, or are you just more Billups' friends?"
Can we be both?
Yeah, I mean, is that a mutually exclusive thing?
Well, if you're taking care of the problem and you're Billups' friends, you're the kind of Billups' friends who can stay. If you exclusively call yourselves Billups' friends, I'd ask that you please take your shoes off and avoid drinking too much in the house.
Oh, friends in low places. I see.
We are here to help you with your problem,
Yeah,
ma'am.
you could see Billups
Yeah.
kind of smirks at her and it's like, "Excuse me, my friends are fine," and
Who
takes
you
another
hanging
bite
out
of his
with?
jerky too.
I could at least slip off my sandals. Yeah, I want to give her that much.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I'll
not
kick
too
off
big.
my boots. It's
You're-
fine.
You'll probably be
Whatever.
out on the ways here shortly anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, follow me. And they both walk you to the back side of the house, or at least the back porch, and you can look through the windows from the inside of the house, and you can see the ranch, and just like probably a good 1,200 of these little birds, just running around in droves, just gob tons of these little tiny birds, all grazing, and they look at him and they go, "That's our pride and joy. We had 2,000 4 weeks ago,
Wow.
and up
What a
until
loss of life.
now we didn't know what was happening. And now that we have a lead, I'm very grateful that y'all are here."
Oh, sure. What's that credit wise, yield wise? What do you? That's probably going to set you back a little bit this year, huh?
Yeah.
Insurance cover that? State Farm?
We don't have farmers insurance out here.
Oh,
We didn't
My bad.
think we'd need it. We picked a pretty remote stretch of property to be farming birds that don't typically die of anything terrible unless they're misfed, and we're pretty careful about that. So, it's been good. It's been nice, clear weather. Everything's been fine. And then this is gonna set us back quite a bit. We probably won't recoup for this for 2 years or so.
that's rough. Well, that's what
Right.
the union is for, right?
Right.
Like the co-op.
Subsidies,
Ooh. Yeah, get after it. Damn.
Sorry, could I look over the herd?
Mhm.
I know that they're kind of white colored, so I'm thinking any discolorations would stand out, and I'm curious if there's blood on any of them, if any of them survived an attack, maybe, or if any of them, I don't know, saw something that could have left some kind of scar.
Yeah, go ahead and if you have any skills that would specifically aid you. I'd allow this to be either a biology or a first aid roll if you have either of those, but
I have biology, yeah.
okay, take it.
So I'd roll for speed because it's a reaction roll, and then add 10.
Yeah, I'll take that. Go ahead and
Okay.
speed, and then the plus 10.
Nope,
Still no.
still no.
Okay, you would need to take some time to look through a flock that thick to find anything. It's possible. You can see that there are some of the down and feathers and things kind of littering the ground, but you don't know if that was caused by the abductions or if they're just molting.
This whole time I've just been like trying to count and failing miserably. Like I'm just like, how did they know they had two? I'm like 1,
Oh,
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 6. What?
You got these. I think they got them chipped.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna take like a wander around the grounds, and I want to maybe like rig up my little like cybernetic diagnostic scanner as kind of like those metal detectors on the beach, where you're just like using it as a little bit of scanner to see if there's anything that doesn't fit in. Like presumably these creatures aren't cybernetic, but I'm not sure if the thing that attacked was. And so like looking for traces of something that like the scanner picks up as not fully organic. Just wandering
Okay.
around.
All right.
They're all
Sounds
skills.
good. Yeah, so you sit and scan for a little while, and I will ask for a roll for that. But we're gonna make that let's make that intellect, and go
I
ahead.
do have jury rigging also, so it is a expert skill.
Okay, so take the addition of the expert skill. How much time are you taking on this?
I mean, I feel like I'll probably take I assume it's a big. I assume if there's 2,000 of them, it's like a big.
It's a fairly large plot, yeah.
But probably also there's like maybe I'll just get a hint from somebody like where did you see them? Where were the turrets? Like where do we know that there is like record of them having potentially like scored the earth or like whatever?
Perfect. That sounds like situational advantage.
And focus on that situation.
Okay.
Great. Good thing the advantage exists. This game is so rude. That one succeeds.
Okay.
The second one.
Yeah, no, you took your time. You asked for some assistance. You had some tools to help out. You are correct in finding some anomalous items out on the far outer edge of this particular plot of land. There are pieces of what look like cybernetic hydraulics, kind of dangling below the essentially barbed wire, but it's a lot denser than that, and it's a lot finer, like razor wire if it was made of glass. Like, this stuff is terrible. But a piece of this like cybernetic hydraulic underneath part of this fence, and there is tissue connected to it. So you're seeing something augmented, but whatever it was definitely organic, at least in principle.
Now, I didn't even read the full description of what a cybernetic diagnostic scanner does. And at the end, it says, can be used as a locating device for synthetic organisms. So I'm using it for its intended purpose, I guess. Is there like a trail that is like followable back from where they came from?
Whatever portion of it was torn off of, there is no blood. This was like tearing a piece off of a shirt. So no, there is not a trail, but you have a better gauge on, you have some tissue from it, and you've got a piece of the metallics.
Cool.
I don't like the look of this. Truck, do you want to get any guns from the house before this escalates further?
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I have this gun and I have this SMG that it just like. But yeah, our buddy here said he had some firepower that we might be able to co-opt.
Yeah, I got a few that I could help out with. What do y'all anticipate you're going to be needing?
You're the one who's seen it.
I have seen it at a distance, and again, I am a bird person. I've shot people and birds. I don't know what this is.
Oh boy, mean, I could just, if you got like a revolver or something, maybe a shotgun of some sort, we could just arm these fellas up.
Yeah, those are easy enough. And he walks in the house. Let me see here. I got 8 there.
I'm curious if there's anything like a EMP as well, knowing that we now know these are partially mechanical.
I have an EMP, then I pull out 6 frag grenades.
Thanks, Trev.
Yeah, just in case.
Are these also always on your person, along with the alcoholic jerky?
The jerky it just gets me through my day. All right, like I knew there was trouble, so I brought these along.
I appreciate that.
You guys called my red phone. I assumed it was an emergency.
Billups walks back out, and he's got 2 guns in his hands. He does indeed have a revolver, the FN slug gun, if you're looking at the Mothership rules. One of you can snag that. And then he also is holding out, he's like, I couldn't find my shotgun, but I did rig the safety off of this, and he holds out a nail gun.
All right.
Roscoe
Frontier
SS6
Justice.
nail gun.
I mean,
Cormac, you could get first pick.
Necessity is the mother of invention, I guess.
Yeah.
I used it for putting up my fences, but reached a point where the cord wouldn't, go out long enough, so I had to make it mobile.
I'm not the corp. You don't have to explain that to me.
I guess I'll take the revolver, but I look really awkward with it. Does not instill confidence. The way that I hold it is like this person is not comfy with guns.
Just don't put your finger on that trigger right there like that. Don't do that. Don't point that at me.
Do you hold it like a joint or like a cigarette?
Yeah.
This conversation, I would like to warrant a fear save from Tom and Truck.
Like, is it a sanity save for me that just makes them really concerned? That's what happens, right?
Nope,
because Mothership, I just like imposing stress, so they're just watching you fumble with the gun. You don't need to roll for a fumble.
Just in case you want to be rude at any point, you can make me roll a sanity save, and every time I fail a sanity save, they take stress.
Right.
Delightful.
Just as I like to remind the DM about the ways they can be mean.
Yeah, I think failure as well.
I rolled a 96, so yeah.
Nice. So that is 1 point of stress to each of y'all.
Okay.
I think probably I do something really embarrassing where I almost attempt to do a flip, hold it. That's what makes you really nervous is I'm a cowboy, and it's just super awkward and not coming across correct.
Not good.
Gonna be honest, I'm
not having a good
glad
time.
that one has a safety on it. I'm gonna be real honest with you right now.
I guess I'll take the one without the safety.
Yep, the nail gun that has no safety.
Cool.
Okay.
Can we examine the hydraulic flash component, or is it torn beyond belief?
How's science knowledge? What tools do you? I mean, if you have tools and know-how, you are welcome to attempt it.
I mean, I have some computers knowledge. This feels like more heavy machinery, but maybe there's enough there that I could parse.
Heavy machinery would be Truck's wheelhouse.
There you go.
Let's take a look here. Let's see what we got here. Let's take a look here. All right. That's no, I rolled another 94. That's a fail.
Woo.
Wow.
Very nice, guys. This is great. Mothership is the most fun when no roll succeeds.
Couldn't tell you what that shit is. Sorry.
Well, we know it came from the caldera, so that's the one straight lead that we have.
Caldera, that's the down, right? That's not the up. That's the down.
I think it's like the up and then the down.
Right. I'm not a geologist.
A crater. It's a moon crater.
Yeah. Got you.
It's an official geologic term. I don't know if you know.
So, Billups is gonna look at you guys and be like, "All right, final question then before you head out there. I take it y'all have got oxygen. This is out beyond the atmosphere limits, so good there. And then I know, at least from what I've seen, these creatures come out at night. Do you want to wait till nightfall, or are you heading out now?
If they come out at night, it would probably be best to go now. While they're there.
Takes a serious minute for Billups to think about the logic. And he's like, what? No, I guess that does make sense. I just figured since y'all were going with guns, you were just going to go fight them and bring it back. But if you want to be sneaky about it, you go ahead. I'm not one to stop you.
I mean,
I have to ask, can our animals survive past the atmospheric limit, or we have to leave them at Phillips Farm?
So, yours, actually, all of yours would. All of yours are actually used for different purposes on the moon itself. You would not have the atmosphere covering the biome space for like where they naturally graze. They can exist in an oxygenated environment, but like all three of these are native enough to this space that it wouldn't bother them.
Awesome.
Especially because you use yours for travel in between the biospheres, like it absolutely wouldn't be bothered.
Okay.
Billups, so are you guys heading out right now then? Is that the idea?
I just also want to know, I have an hour of oxygen. Do we need more than an hour?
Well, it's
I'm
about...
pretty sure
mine.
that's...
And
Pretty sure.
he kind of smirks and he looks and he's like, I mean, in gestures to the Caldera, it's like a 5-minute brisk walk. Like, he's right on the edge of this thing. So he's
Okay,
like,
good.
an hour is fine as long as you don't get lost in whatever's in it.
Great, good. Just checking. Just trying to get a... I don't know if everybody has more than an hour. I think Tam also has an hour, but I don't know about Truck.
I need a tank.
Oh, well, I'm
Great.
glad y'all checked your pack. And he'll walk in.
I do need a tank. I have a BDU. I need a tank.
Okay. He will walk back out with a small oxygen canister, last you about an hour.
Thank you.
And Cormac, can we set up like a code word if you're close to running out? Because as an android, I have no need for this.
Oh, right.
For this O2.
Right.
I just want to make sure that you're looked after.
Do we need a code word, or can he just say he's running out of oxygen?
Yeah, I was going to say, I can just... Oxygen is my code word.
Okay.
Actually, with my SPD, I can link up with your systems.
Oh, awesome. I don't want to get separated from you, Truck, but
I have short range comms, so I can't see
Okay.
your stats. But I assume Tam is okay since he is a milk creature, and Cormac has oxygen.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Milk creatures feels like an insult.
I'm
You-
sorry, I never
you
really
beat me
learned how
to
to
it,
talk
and
to
you
your
can-
types.
You can look at Billups kind of sitting there with this smug, or like just kind of stern look, and he's like, "No, milk creature is offensive. If you know
Is it?
my wife's an android.
I'm so sorry.
I will beat
Apologize.
the shit out of you."
Hey, that was ignorance on my part. I apologize.
She makes great meat pies for an android.
Well, yeah,
As an android myself, who can't cook meat.
precision. It's all about having a right recipe. As long as the recipe's good, she can make it perfect every time.
Fantastic.
Now, off y'all head, and he hands. I don't know who wants to take it, but he hands you a walkie. Short range. He's only got one, but he's like, I got the other half. If you need anything, and I am able to help, I can assist.
I'll take the walkie.
Okay.
It's old, big. All right. I'll just patch it right into my thing.
Why buy something new if it still works?
Oh, amen. Praise the corporation.
It's a corporation. As we head out, could we inspect the ground on the 5-minute walk to see if there's footprints or
You
at least
absolutely can. Yeah.
hydraulic prints, I guess.
We are looking for intellect then, and we are going, if you're specifically dealing into it, let's go... scavenging, I would allow for that, or biology.
I do beat it. It's the first roll I beat.
Okay, good. Yeah, you do actually find tracks. They are glaring enough that you are almost concerned that Billups didn't even try to look. But there is a number of sets, and you can see both basically like perfect like knuckle prints, like fully articulated, almost gorilla knuckle prints in the ground, as well as like again gorilla-esque back feet. But some of those prints vary, where you can see like one of them is just more of a square, but it's also denser packed, where maybe a hand was replaced, or like you're missing a portion of the foot, and like it's shaped more electronic, as if whatever it is just augmented parts of a similar creature, but they're not all augmented in the same way.
What do you think about this, Cormac?
I mean, it's just kind of upsetting. Presumably, this is like, does it give off the vibes of like a little bit of a Frankenstein like hack job? Like,
I think you might get that energy from it. Yeah.
I mean, it makes me think that there's something behind them, right? Like if they're being modified differently, but they have this like, but they come off as kind of more creature-like, then who is doing the modifications?
So you think this is more of a Scooby-Doo situation?
Yeah.
Watching the old,
that really old show.
Got it. Wow, there's been 17 reboots in the last 200 years. What are you talking about?
We don't even know what a VW buggy is anymore, but it keeps showing up in the, mystery van.
The last one, they were on a short range ship hitting up rim worlds. I liked that one. Freddie Prinze the 17th.
Well,
Freddie Prinze Jr.
I think it's kind of awful to see something that's using, machine and animalian life together in one. Kind of, go all in on one or go all in on the other. Here it's kind of we're in the middle a lot too much for my comfort.
Such a purist. Who knew?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, we're learning a lot about each other today.
Love you, Frank. Sorry, fuck. I don't know where mine is. How's Kevin doing, by the way?
Kevin's fine. He's fine.
Doing circles.
Oh, you'd know if he was doing bad.
Weather is great. For the moon's concerned, you got no dust storms, nothing out in this particular vicinity. And you guys get just about to the edge of the caldera, and you take steps up onto the top, or unless you guys are doing something different other than just walking over it, but it does not appear to be like manufactured. You just can't see down inside of it yet.
Yeah, right up.
Okay, so you guys walk up, right up to the top of this caldera, and as you look down into it, you notice a couple of things. One of which being a dust storm that seemingly has started to appear out of nowhere, blowing in from one direction, that's going to cross directly over this caldera, and within the caldera, you see quite the sight to behold from inside just a generic moon crater on the outer sections of this world. But we will get into that right after a brief intermission. We got about take a 5-10 minute intermission so that we can grab some water and recollect real fast, and we will return to figure out what's actually down there here in a moment. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Pearse Anderston. Delightful book. The notes are in the chat. I'll also be putting it in the YouTube description because the chat will be present for the rest of that, but you'll see it down there if you're watching this on YouTube. But we return to our story as three ranchers from the Union Collective of the Valley Rangers on the Desert Moon of Karth are investigating a series of animal disappearances of very small flightless birds known as renair. The beast, or whatever creatures they are tracking, are cybernetically augmented for some reason, at least that is the supposition at this point, and have been stealing from the Warburton Ranch large swaths of these renairs over the last 4 weeks. And you arrive at the caldera that they keep disappearing into as a dust storm is about to cross overhead of y'all. And living on Karth, you know these dust storms are rough. They are not something you want to be stuck out in. As you look down into the caldera, it looks to be like industrial equipment. Quite a bit of it, in fact. And stamped on the side of a number of the crates in this particular space of like lamp lights and different boxes, and you can see a shaft running deeper in down the caldera, but it's not like mine railed or anything. It looks like just tunnels supported by some of these beams of metal and stuff being hauled in from whatever had been working on this. Is the stamp for a company that a couple of you may know from Earth, and it's regularly spreading, but it lists as Wuhan Baxter,
I hate
which
these guys.
yeah, they're not fantastic, depending on perspective. All companies have a good side, right? I think.
Oh yeah, we love the Tyrell Corporation. They're the best.
Right. But beyond that, there's no living creatures in sight. There are tunnels leading deeper in, and some maybe abandoned, maybe just left outside equipment in the caldera. But somebody has definitely been here, and this is civilized terrain at this point. So I think it was Cormac that brought it up. You're probably reaffirmed in the idea that whoever is augmenting these beasts is most likely corporate affiliated, or somebody is doing it to them and then forcing them to do their will.
How far is the drop into the caldera?
The drop itself is maybe 15 feet.
Okay, that seems manageable.
Like on a slow decline, 15 feet, or just like full drop?
Sharp slope. So if you're careful, you could, in theory, like boot slide down it with an arm on the ground, but you're still going down regardless if you cross over it.
I have a rigging gun. Could
There we
I
go.
set that up before the dust storm comes, and we could rappel down?
You'd have to work quick. You are welcome to make an attempt, but I'm going to need a speed roll on it.
I would like to help if this is a possibility for advantage.
Okay, how are we helping?
I'll just start helping with the rigging. This is something I know a good amount of.
Okay, so you're taking the shot, and then you're going to help tie everything
Yeah.
up and
Yeah.
lock it down. Okay.
Just so we can move a little bit faster.
Okay. So go ahead and roll with advantage. Do you have any skills that are going to help out with this?
I don't believe so. But I beat one of the two rolls.
Okay, so we're good then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you managed to take a shot, lodge it into one of the crates on the far side beyond one of the, like, staked-in lamp posts, so it's not going anywhere. And you can get it tied down in enough time that, realistically, with the speed that you're doing, it might be easier to just zip line in as opposed to drop the cable down, but a couple of feet.
Who doesn't love a zip line?
I mean, it's not a
I
long
know,
zip
yeah.
line, but it's a fun zip line. Everybody loves zip
Real
lines.
quick, Truck's just gonna be like, well, okay, but we do have to get back out. I'm just gonna tell you that much right now.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Never mind. My description would have been was there for fun, but is probably impractical.
I love the enthusiasm, but we do need to extract ourselves from this caldera at some point.
My bad. Yeah. So you build a successful rappelling equipment lodged into the top of the caldera, and manage to get down into the caldera right as this dust storm basically blocks out any light that you have from above, and you are left with a couple of like factory floodlights, the mobile ones, just kind of set up about this caldera. But beyond that, it is dark.
Ah, dang it. That
And
means
there is-
Kevin's not going to be able to get down here.
Kevin.
It's fine. He knows to go home during the storms. I'm just a little annoyed because could have brought him down. You know, he likes caves.
I probably left Kelvin, my Ethrest, up there as well.
Is he gonna be okay? He's gonna make it.
Cormac, has your Wonderit transformed into something with wings? Is it?
Yeah,
is it
I don't
bird-based?
think. I was not thinking it had wings, but I do think it's probably here. And at some point, you guys I don't know if you're used to it, but at some point you turn around, and it looks kind of like a mix between a panther and a koala bear, but made of like dark sludgy texture. Like it has like a shine to it. And probably somebody, not me, maybe me, got spooked by it, because I imagine that at night it's like a dark shiny texture means that it like kind of blends in with if there's no light with the surroundings. So it's oh, there's a dark creature. Okay, fine, that's fine. It's just Gary. If we're all going with normal names, its name is Gary.
Yeah, Gary. Makes sense. So
My favorite.
You ever get used to that? It seems like something that I would never get used to. It's just...
I mean, in this context, it's probably not ideal because we're hunting beasts and unfamiliar beasts, but...
That's a good point.
It's good to have some kind of backup, though. I was counting on Kevin, but this storm is not a good thing.
Kevin.
There's no way the storm, in my mind, is natural. I mean, think about it. We were just in the field with 1,200 Renaers bred for their weather detection abilities, and I didn't hear any of them react to an upcoming storm.
Word.
All right, they do that.
Right, I had forgotten that they had a weather thing going on. Cool. Man, animals, nature, it's so fascinating.
But also, we're now up against like modified murder beasts,
Yeah,
some
this
kind
is,
of corporate control something, and also weather control, because this is...
Yeah.
These WB folks, they're no good. They're no good. I've heard of these people.
Have you worked with them before?
I've never worked with them before, but I know people who have met them, and then I never saw those people again, so I assume they're bad people. But, you know, every corp but the Tyrell Corporation can go straight to hell. So that's my feeling. Praise the Tyrell Corporation.
Do we have to?
That brief pause to process what he just said, you get this somewhere between like the feet of like rat tapping and like echolocation chittering. It's all vocal, but it's this unintelligible amount of just clicking coming from out of the hallway. And it sits there in like different spurts of this clicking, and then nothing again.
That wasn't Gary. Just in case we were concerned, that was not Gary.
Yeah, it didn't sound like Kevin either. These are crates, like corp crates, like big metal vacuum sealed.
Yep.
Do they have keypads on them, or are they just like flip-ems?
No, these ones, because they're outside, they would have been keypadded and locked.
All right. I would like to try to open one of these.
Okay.
I have an electronic toolkit.
Okay. All right. I would be looking for computers or hacking.
I have computers. Could I assist and kind of look over Truck's shoulder and be like, try 0000.
I don't know if we have that much time, my friend. Why don't you
Try
go ahead and try this out?
8008.
Actually, if you've got it, you should take the roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For like intellect or speed.
Depends on how much time you think you have.
I feel like it's gonna be a speed roll.
Okay, take the speed roll.
Okay. Nope. Do I have an advantage or not?
You have my toolkit. I
Yeah.
suppose that could add advantage.
Mads,
Up to Mads.
Say that again.
Here's my
do we have
toolkit.
advantage on the roll with the
I
electronic
will.
toolkit?
I'm gonna say no advantage to this, but I will add an additional. You can add another 10% to that for the toolkit.
Oh, okay. Okay. 63, 57. No, we don't beat it.
Dang it.
Worst.
Okay,
We're bad at this.
so you two are kind of focusing in on this crate, trying to get it opened, and no luck. And you can hear the alarm signal of that crate beeping from tampering.
Come on.
And behind you, he who is not. Why is my name just missing? Max, your character. The name
Cormac.
has gone.
Cormac.
Cormac. You hear that chittering again behind you, and I would like you to make a sanity roll for me.
Great, good. It's gonna
Oh
be great.
no.
Well, this is where. Oh, yay! I love it when this happens.
I made my sanity roll.
Okay. So you're good, but you can hear that thing. Like, you dial into everything going on. You manage to drown out some of that alarm, and you can hear that chittering getting closer down the hall. Before it was a little bit of an echo. Now it is actually moving towards.
Great. I'm gonna like just poke these two who are occupied with the computer and be like, I think maybe we should shut just a bit.
And we're doing a Marx Brothers routine.
And like point down the hall, and then I'm gonna like. So there's like a bunch of crates. Like there are many crates. Are they like
There are
nicely
3 or
organized?
4. They're fairly large. So if your intent is to hide behind, it is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like we would have moved away from this one crate kind of instinctively because it's already alarming.
Okay.
Yes, that makes sense.
Does anybody have the clicker for it? Dang it.
I have a
it's
flashlight.
fine. We can just we'll just go to the other ones. Like I'm just gonna motion to the other, like to try and
Okay.
hide away from the other
want
ones.
to hide. Got it.
And
got it.
hopefully it will get
Got it.
drawn to the beeping, and we can figure out what it is and
Oh.
reassess.
People brought this stuff here, so
Okay.
I assume there's people.
People
around.
don't echolocate or chitter.
I mean, they do if they have things augmented on them.
I hate the idea that these are people.
Well,
I
bad news.
like Cormac's idea. I'm gonna follow wherever you go. With
Okay.
what's his name? Gail, Gabe,
Airy.
Gary. Yeah, Gary the snail.
Speed and athletics are applicable here. I'm just going to have Cormac, you led the way on that. Just roll that with advantage for the team.
Ooh, okay.
Get us out of here.
You know my speed is.
Oh, that's right. Hooray.
Is so low that neither of those hit it. But I'll have you know the second roll was a 69.
Very nice.
Nice.
My
Nice.
speed is a 22. I'm just gonna try to move and trip over my own feet.
Okay, yeah, so
Sandstorm.
you two are right next to the crates. You managed to get back behind and hide out, and you're okay. Cormac, you do. You go to follow suit. You're a little bit further into the tunnel, or further into the caldera from those crates. You biff it, hit the ground, land kind of twisting so that you're back up on the ground, as you see a large beast, probably 7 feet-ish, walking on all fours like a gorilla. The cap of it, or the head of it, looks like a mushroom. Big ol' mushroom. Partially chitinous, but a lot of that looks like it's been peeled back deliberately to replace portions of it with cybernetic augments. And you can see where kind of the legs have been distended, or certain things, specifically on the chest, you can see pieces that have basically been applied to it that are running various readouts or doing certain things. You can't quite tell, but it walks through and chittering through this space as it goes, and walks right past you towards these crates.
Like over top of
Over
me?
top of you, like it did not even give a shit.
I'm just gonna be afraid for a moment.
Okay, I am going to impose you're going to take some stress from that. Let's see. That's 2 stress from that. And without any kind of context to what just happened, Tam and Truck, are you just staying put?
Wow, nature is terrifying. Yeah, I'll get my gun out and I'll like get it ready, and then I'll just hide.
Okay.
I have a flare gun. I feel like that might be my best gun to wield now, because at least then, if it impacts, we'd have a burning creature that we can identify in a dark room. I kind of look to Truck and kind of like wave it around in my arm, being like, "Yeah,
Nail gun.
good idea.
Nail gun.
Nail gun?
Did you bring the nail gun?
Okay, yeah, I fumble with my pack, but
I mean, both. Both.
okay, I'm gonna akimbo flare gun, nail gun out, but not yet prepared to fire.
Okay. Based on the rolls that I just made, and the sounds of this alarm going off, echolocation, or whatever they're chittering or seeing, only takes them so far. And they stop by the crates and kind of look over it. Don't really notice anything as they continue to chitter, and then walk off fairly briskly. They seem to be, and Cormac, you would see this more than anybody else, they seem to be distressed by the noise. They don't love it in very close proximity, and they seem to back off and pull away.
Do they walk back over me?
They do.
Great. Good. Love this for me.
How big is this crate?
The crate itself is about a 6-foot cube.
Okay, wild idea. What if we just push the crate into the cave and just push them back using the sound of the crate alarm?
Wouldn't
No.
that cover the one way deeper into the caldera?
Well, if it doesn't like sound, then fuck it. Like, we can, and then maybe we'll just drop this thing on it. I don't know. It just seems like it didn't like the sound, and I don't have anything to make sound except 6 frag grenades.
Yeah, can we communicate with Cormac, or is he so far pinned that that's less possible?
The creature is gone at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Back
like
down the
scurry. Yeah, I'm gonna scurry probably very embarrassingly on the floor over back to where y'all are.
Yeah, come over here. We're having an Illuminati meeting. Check it out. All right. So that thing did seem to really like all that sound. That's still, I assume, going on. We're not in any sort of hab, right? So we're burning oxygen right now.
You are currently burning oxygen. Yep.
Cool.
About 15
All right.
minutes of that hour is gone.
All right. Let's get maybe let's get done here. So we can push this thing in. I have 6 frag grenades. Could use those. Not sure how. Open to ideas. Anything else on the table right now?
Well, we know what they are.
Do we?
Don't. Well, like,
We know what they look like.
yeah,
But I'm not entirely sure what the hell that was.
Cormac,
did they
you're the
look like they-
scientist, right?
yeah. Did they look like they had like a weak point?
Like glowing, like red?
I will allow either biology or botany in accompanying intellect from you, Cormac.
I got biology. I can think thoughts. So every time I play a percentage dice game, this happens where I will roll a 00 and my brain will be like, wait, is that 0, 0? Or is that like every time if I roll double zeros, I'm like, which end of the spectrum does that mean? I think I rolled a 4. So that is a success.
Okay.
Uh,
You
You're
would
right.
recognize these. These are actually ranched on Karth.
Oh.
They're called Puknev. Traditionally, they are like, yeah, basically a mycelic gorilla kind of thing. They were originally designed for wartime purposes. They were militarily created. But now, farmers love using them for one, defense of the property, but also they eat fucking everything. Because they're mushrooms, they are just garbage compactors. And they're usually fairly harmless unless you get them in large groups. They're also typically fairly psychic. They've got some kind of psionics to them. And if that's brought up, it's worth noting that none of you felt that or interacted with that at all.
Do they often, like, was there noticeable modifications from what they would normally be? Like, they're like, are they often modified, or are they just usually like weird mushroom crabs? Like, presumably, like, did they stand out as noticeably different than the types of like creatures that are normally farmed?
So the Puknev are normally farmed on Karth as they exist traditionally. These ones stand out because they are deliberately augmented. And usually within their presence, you do get some kind of aura of that tension of just like things being in your head because they are psionic inherently. But there was none of that. So could probably be assumed that they're probably being dampened, but this is exactly what you would normally know of a Puknev. Just a little fucked up from technology.
I will relay all that information. Like, this is what it is. We know this. It's fine.
Okay, well, that's good. I guess we're here to exterminate these things, I assume.
I don't know that we agreed to exterminate them.
I mean, they're taking livestock.
Yeah, but I don't think it's their fault.
I think this late into our journey, we should find out who did it.
Yeah.
I feel like we can't go back and say someone's controlling animals to kidnap your Renaers, but not give any sort of farmer or union member, not even a hint of a name.
All right, word. So in the hole, then, is what you're saying.
But I think we can avoid them. Like, if we know they're being augmented, we know they're being... Like, I think we avoid them at all costs, and we try and find out, like, the wizard behind the mask or whatever.
Yeah. Let's roll. You lead the way, Cormac.
That went so well last time.
All right. Understandable.
You have the guns.
You both have guns. I got you some guns.
I pull out the gun and do
I
the
forgot
same
about this.
thing again. It makes everybody feel really good about my gun use.
I'm glad you don't know how that safety works on that yet.
Give me a...
That's...
I'm gonna make one. I'm gonna force it. Give me another... I would like you to give... Cormac, I want you to give me a speed check. Just trying to be fancy with this.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Both of y'all are going to take a stress as he starts flipping this around. Fumbles, and while there is a safety on it, that safety was not engaged because he doesn't know how a gun works.
Oh, no.
And one of the rounds in the chamber goes firing off and ricochets right past you, Truck. Just barely misses.
It's just like Perseus 13 all over again.
It works. I think I'm cool.
And at least that was a nice bit of sound. Did it hit anything?
Nope. Just went through some of the dust on the side of the caldera.
Ugh. All right, maybe I'll go first.
Okay. Truck, you lead us all into these tunnels. It is dark. Do you have a light out, or are you navigating the
I
tunnel?
have a light on my. Yes, I have a light. I should have lights on my suit.
Okay.
I have a light. I have a flashlight. I can hand to you.
Yeah, I have a headlamp.
Okay, we're good then. You've got light. This tunnel is one way. What could have been labyrinthian is not. It winds a little. It winds a little bit, so you can't quite see the end of the tunnel at any given point because it switchbacks on itself a couple times. But really, just as either environmental precaution or just to convolute the situation, you do eventually reach a space where you can peer out into another large area, and I'm talking big. There's probably a little bit of a decline as you walk through this. It's a big space, probably a third of a football field, half of a football field, something like that. Yeah, probably half, closer. More equipment in it. You can see 3 of these Puknev that are just kind of motionless off to the side, doing absolutely nothing, not moving, don't appear to be breathing, just present. You can see 2 scientists wearing the signature colors of Wuhan Baxter and on the backs of their lab coats as they are working away at something on the table. And you can see a cage with a Renair, and a single Renair in the space just beyond those scientists, currently like vomiting onto the floor of the cage. Beyond that, similar kind of like crates and lights and things, but it's more just a bigger space, kind of set up underground as a mobile lab.
Wow.
Just 2 scientists.
2 of them. 2 of them, 3 Puknev, at least you can see so far, and then the one Renair.
Gotcha.
Are there any
gotcha.
sort of controls near the scientists? Like, are they within reach of, say, a big lever or switch to maybe activate some Puknev
Button of
things?
some right.
Animal control computer.
Yeah, it's actually one of those big like dangling extension cords with the like 4 button controls you see in a warehouse.
Yes. Basic. I have a quick, just observational question.
Mhm.
These tunnels, were they dug by machines?
A tunnel, not dug by machines.
Right. So this is like a natural like exhaust vent for a volcano. Like that maybe magma flowed through thousands of years ago.
The potential is present.
Got it. I don't know anything about geology.
It sounded like you knew a lot about
I don't
geology.
know anything about
Down,
geology.
but-
That's child. They tell you that as a kid. They're like, this is how volcanoes work. Don't you know? That I grew up on a ship.
Lava goes up. Yeah.
Okay, so all right.
Is there like an exit to the room? Like
Yeah, where you walked in from.
that's it?
Okay,
There's
so this
no
is
like
it.
other
It's,
exit?
it's all you can see so far.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, we could. All right. We're not observed. Yeah, at this point, they have not caught on to us being here.
About 40 minutes of oxygen left.
Oh God, we gotta go. All right, we can. I'm going to sneak up behind these dudes. Are they next to each other?
They are.
I'm going to attempt a cartoon knock their heads together.
We don't want to ask them any questions.
I'm not. That's why I'm not killing them.
Okay. Go ahead and
I'm gonna try.
go ahead and make a strength roll for me.
I have military training.
Ooh. Okay.
That's what they teach you in the military.
I'm gonna-
Just smash their heads together.
this close
Just
quarters
knock them
combat,
together
then?
like a cartoon.
Yeah.
It's a
No, I don't.
pacifist element.
Yeah. So I'm gonna add the 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it barely
Ooh.
by 1.
Very nice.
Just
So you sneak up, and that barely make it is one of them hearing you fumble just a little bit, and he turns around, and you end up like slapping their heads together, one of them facing you and one of them looking the other way.
well.
But regardless, they both pass out.
I mean, it's close enough for government work. Am I right? All right.
It works.
Yeah.
Well, I will tie these fellows up, and let's just start. Are they wearing suits? They got suits on?
They are in shirt and tie and like slacks and lab coat, but no suits. They're not full suits.
They're not wearing hab suits?
They are not.
Oh, well then after I see this, I'm gonna take my helmet off then and be like, see if I can breathe down here.
Yeah, this particular room, and as you take a breath, you look over, there is a small, atmosphere generator.
Hey!
Like oxygen.
Do they have any like identifying, like a key card or like anything on them that like?
Other than like the Wuhan Baxter name badges.
Yeah, they always have those stupid badges on.
Can I go look at that? You said there was a button hanging down from the ceiling, you know. Can I look at if there's any more related control panels to potentially disable my computer's knowledge before, I don't know, any contingency plan knocks into place, or there's a Pukanev?
So the hanging piece has got 3 buttons, 2 black, 1 red.
Cool.
On what looks like a hanging extension cord. That extension cord extends up to the ceiling, which is about 11 feet tall, across the way, and then down behind a series of crates. If you are following this, kind of planning for contingencies and things, the space behind it is connected to what looks like a series of like a remote computer array. But it all seems to be just monitoring equipment. It's not like data input. It looks to be just it. Actually, you know what? If you want to investigate it, you may, but that's what you're getting so far.
Kind of sounds like it could be a weather-altering machine, or studying, like some kind of meteorological device, perhaps.
Dang scientists.
Why? But why the modified creatures if you just want to know if a storm's coming?
You know these science types. You give them you give them out a cookie type situation. You give them one animal that does something, they're gonna want 4 more animals. They're gonna want to put machine guns on them. I've seen it. If I've seen it once, I've seen it 1,000 times. I am over 700 years old.
There was the whole machine gun mouse incident of Prism 19, and that.
That's famous.
I turn to Gary and I'm like, Gary, do you want a machine gun?
Don't ask. They'll always say yes.
Do we know more of Renaer, physiology and systems? I do have some biology training as well.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make a biology roll for me.
Okay. Yeah, beat it.
Okay. You wrote him. You tell me. What do we know about the Renaer?
Oh, the Renaer. I did write him. The Renaer. There was a famous incident with the Moil Paprika Festival in which someone released a bunch of Renaers into the Paprika Festival, which is this, it's this kind of urban event. You know how sometimes back in New Spain they used to like throw tomatoes down an alley and they used to run and slip down it. It was that with paprika. And the Renaers that they released onto that street, they ate the paprika and they biologically reacted against warm-colored foods. And their vomit that then streaked that beautiful paprika alleyway began to transform into storm clouds. And ever since that, I mean, it was a highly studied incident, and there's been a lot of questions left over since. But people believe that Renaer vomit can actually alter the weather. So now that I see this vomiting Renaer, maybe I put 2 and 2 together and think that actually we don't even need a meteorological altering device. They have it here in this one Renaer.
Are they known to like is one that powerful? like one vomits and then there's a dust storm that.
I don't think so, but also we were told that 40% of the flock was missing.
Yeah, they
you
took
know?
quite a few.
Maybe they're all being concentrated.
Well, we could ask one of these fellas. I have some stim packs, so I'm gonna wake one of these dimmies up.
Okay. So you wake one of them up, and he kind of comes to and looks at the three of you, just like,
Howdy.
Hey,
Hey.
you wanna tell me what's going on?
No. You want to tell me what's going on?
Not particularly.
Well, listen, we live around here, and we're concerned citizens, and some
Oh,
things
yeah.
have been going missing, and we follow y'all here. You've been stealing from the ranches. We're just trying to figure out what's going on. You know, we don't want any problems with your corporation. We know they're, salty earth types. So let's just maybe exchange some information, and I don't know, maybe we can work something out. I don't know. I'm 700 years old.
He smiles and looks at the three of you, and he goes, "All right, what do you want to work out? You want credits to leave this alone? We were honestly just prepping to pack up. We're done."
Oh, word! You're about finished. Well, we don't want to take too much time out of your day. We know you're probably busy, fellas. But listen, you stole quite a few heads of livestock from some good friends of ours, and we're just hoping to recoup that.
The birds?
Yes, the birds.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what are they worth? Like 40 credits a pop?
Yeah, man, you ever work the land? You ever work with your hands? You ever get down and dirty?
Not a day in my life. Thank
Yeah,
God.
it doesn't seem like it. Yeah, you got those clean hands. You got those smooth hands. You got those city hands.
You're making me uncomfortable. Don't describe my hands.
Yeah, that's fair.
that
That's fair.
detail.
Yeah, that happens. A lot of people told me that before. But what I need you to know is we just need to take the birds because they are how our community makes a living. You just take and then just make and we just we live on the land. I worked for corps like you my whole life, and you guys, you never give anything back. You just take.
Well,
So the deal is we take the birds and y'all get to leave.
I counter offer. You can have that bird, and we will finish leaving, because the rest of them were jettisoned off world about 20 minutes ago.
How y'all get past those security measures off world? I'm curious about that. How y'all get in past the security measures?
We thought about that. Getting in was difficult. A lot of bribery involved in that. Getting off world was not bad, because we just fed about 800 Renaires something warm and fuzzy, and they masked the whole escape. We just rocketed one rocket just full of Renaires just off planet. They're gone.
Interesting. All right, so we can't get those birds.
So the rocket's also full of vomit?
Probably.
Yeah, it's
Not our
sloshing,
problem.
just sloshing around in there.
Hey, good. Just I want the facts. Great.
If the Renaires are in a rocket full of vomit, wouldn't they drown?
Well, no, they're all in a cylindrical tube. It would have all pooled into the middle.
Pulls down.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't want
Got it.
specifics on the people.
No, it's fine. I'm just curious. I'm curious by nature. Listen, okay, well, plan B, then. If we can't get those birds, we have no way off world. I look at you two, right? Yeah, didn't think so.
Kevin doesn't fly that high, right?
No, Kevin he'll freeze to death before he gets that high. And then he'll just explode.
Again.
Listen, all right. You were mentioning credits. You're a company man. Could you maybe recompensate our friends for the loss? I mean, at least pay for what you took. You know what I mean?
You would untie me so I can look at the books?
We searched this guy, right? He ain't got no weapons on him. I'm gonna pat him down real quick. I'll be like,
Okay.
yeah, we'll take.
Yeah, he doesn't have any weapons on him.
All right. Wait, yeah, and you got this, man. Your hands, they're very pretty. These hands, they are cut to shit. I hate my hands. I hate them.
Hey, Truck.
Yeah, I'm letting him go.
I think we could untie his hands, but I'm sure he wants to keep his pretty hands as well.
Right.
And I kind of register my nail gun towards his.
There we go. My man.
I'm very uncomfortable with this. I didn't realize that my hands are going to be the focal point of this kidnapping.
Yeah. Who's your buddy here?
Oh, that's Frank.
That's
fine.
Frank. He's fine. Well,
how are Frank's hands?
It's a good point.
Smaller than he likes to talk about.
He's got science hands.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Frank.
Well, listen, we're the nice ones. My guy over here, Cormac, with the pistol. Oof, you don't want him to take that out. I'll tell you right now. He is a dead shot, and he once that removed from its sheath, it cannot be replaced until it tastes blood.
Look, buddy, I've got a headache. If you want to just untie the hands, I'll take a look at the books. We can I just work here. Like,
hey, fair.
I don't
no
give
worries.
a shit.
No worries, and I'll cut I don't know. I'll probably hit him up with zip tie. So I'll just knock that off.
I'm so worried he's gonna do something.
Yeah, it's okay. We all have guns.
He takes.
Okay.
Yeah, he turns and kind of fishes the clipboard off the table. Or I guess it's kind of a digital pad. Kind of goes over a couple of things.
Love that it probably looks like a clipboard though. Like
it does. Yeah.
Like,
It's still got the. You can put real paper on it, but who's had that in years?
It's expensive.
It is. He looks through things. And he's like, "Tell you what. I'll give your rancher friend 8,000 credits. Cover it all. And you can each have $1,000 to shut the hell up and walk on by."
Well, question for the world: is that where does that offer sit? Like, realistic to how much the birds are worth?
It sounds like quite a bit, actually.
Well, he said there were 40 a pop. 8,000 would be 200 birds worth. Which I guess, okay, I don't know if Maz was thinking this much about the math. But I would like to be higher.
All right. Well, my, after commuting with my Android friend here, he would like it to be higher.
I think we would, yeah.
You just walk out. Just walk out.
Just walk out. You can go back to what. I mean, you can't go back to what you were doing, but if what you were doing was leaving, then yes.
Oh yeah, no, we're
That's
leaving. We have no more business on this planet. We're just concerned with the Renaires.
And I point at like the 3 stationary. What did you call them? What are their names? The weird chitness. Yeah, those guys. I point at those, and they're going with you. Yes.
Yeah, they're going with. Those are assistants. They just help with the research.
Hey, I always love it when an animal has a job. That's amazing to me.
That's
Nature
true.
is fascinating.
I like when they're tax assistants or landlords or plumbers.
Landlords.
Fuck that. I hate when they are landlords.
Landlord's not a job.
fan.
What are you talking about?
Bad rates. All right, final offer. 14,000. 14,000. You each get 1,000. So that's 17,000 credits out of the company pocket, and we go away. And you go away, and nobody has to fight. You might want to untie Frank, but we'll leave.
Tam, how's that sound?
How are you controlling? I'm like thinking. I'm barely paying attention because like the money conversation is just like not the interesting part of things for me. How are you controlling them?
Well, they're very difficult to control because they're nigh immortal and almost entirely unkillable because they are my silicon nature. But we have developed dampeners that keep the whole hive mind mushroom network thing from communicating to each other. And then, you know how cockroaches are controlled with a little antenna? We figured that out a while ago. A similar process, a different thing in there that we can just give simple commands to. It's nothing complex, but we can give them directives.
Like you have a remote control for them somewhere.
Kind of. I don't feel particularly at liberty to say. You said they're leaving with us. They are. We're going.
I mean, Cormac's a curious type.
I think we'd all feel safer doing a deal with you if our curiosity was satiated.
I guess. I mean, sure.
You're leaving. What does the knowledge hurt?
Sure. All right. Fair enough. There's a little microphone with a button on it. It's like a PA system, but you talk into it. It doesn't go over loudspeakers. It just directs the simple directive into the creatures. Basically transforms it into radio waves, and then they receive it to specific transponders, and then they do their thing. And when you give them a signal, we just press the button and speak.
Does this look like he's describing the thing that's hanging down from the middle of the ceiling? No, there's like some, and he doesn't have the device on him.
He does not have
like
the device on him, and you have not seen it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not another person. Just okay.
I'm like
shall we,
trying to make important eye contact with people. Like this is, we don't know where this is. Where's the?
Do we want to let them go at 17,000 and not deal with the specifics?
Is that a good rate? I mean, you're the math guy.
Good hell, if y'all shut up about the Pukniev, I'll make it 20, but that's as high as I can go, literally.
Hey, there we go.
That's all I got.
I feel like that's a good deal.
They're betting on themselves. I just feel like we weren't even negotiating at that point. We were turned away and the price went up.
I know
we should just stay turned away and the price.
It is technically confidential information that we have them. Like, we have a whole NDA involved in that. So, yes, I would rather you not ask any more questions about them.
I mean, and the other part is these are corp people. So, like, if their bosses find out we know about this, we're dead.
That's why we have paperwork for this. We give you 20K. You sign NDAs about what we did. And then
okay,
you
hold
away.
on. We're gonna sign some stuff.
Yeah,
okay,
I don't want to sign it.
It's a single sheet, okay?
All right. Well, you need that for accounting?
Oh no, the money doesn't matter. I'm just like, if you're concerned about the company coming after you, if you've got
No. I don't care. I'm just not signing anything. We'll take the credits, just transfer them over.
Okay, all right, fair enough. You take the credits, no NDA, you walk away. All's good.
Cormac, how are you feeling?
What if we took the credits and the Pukniev so that we had some kind of assurance that they couldn't actually come back and attack us with them? Surely you have more of these. You've figured this out. You don't need these 3.
Well, once the things leave the dampeners, they're gonna like explode our brains, right?
I think the dampeners are in their brains. I don't think it's like a field.
It's not like a field thing.
Yeah, no, I think it's like
if you
in
don't know how to
them.
maintenance the dampeners, these have been known to explode heads before.
Explode heads, right. Which is like
So
top
if it
of my
goes
list
out
of
on
things
you
I
because you
don't
decide
want.
to kidnap them, and then that goes away, and they go into a berserk rage, you just...
Thank you. I'm glad he's here to help us talk this
Doesn't
through.
your bat do that also?
It sets things on fire. I have a bat. I turned to the guy. I have a bat. I have a range of bats that shoot fire out of their mouths. And
It also explode at random.
they don't explode at
only if
random.
it's liquor.
They're spent alcohol, and it has to be distilled.
Or if they get too cold in the atmosphere, yeah.
That's also true.
Well, yeah, that's also true. We haven't tested that one. I just assumed every time I've seen one die, it has exploded.
So
Even
they
of
just
natural causes.
The
Now that I
guy's
think
like,
about it.
wait, did they just explode from old age then?
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's
See,
why you
that
never.
feels like at
That's why they're
random.
not. It's why they're not in the fossil record at all.
The graveyard's like a piñata. It's really
Yeah. It's
bad.
we. Listen, this is my job. All right, you're doing your job. All right, so like
Yeah.
let's just
All right.
cut and run. We'll make this deal. We'll leave. We're not taking any of their pets. Those are their pets.
How are you getting off this? How are you getting off the planet?
It's not important.
Yeah, that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I feel like if the deal is we're taking your money and you're leaving the planet,
We
it
have a
is
second-
kind of important
we
that
do
we
have
know
a
how you're
second
getting off the
rocket.
planet.
Yeah, these are men of some means. I'm sure they
I
have
just don't see the
transportation.
rocket.
There's another exit to this space.
See, I feel like we're only scratching the surface of this. Fine, if you want to take the money, we can leave. But I feel like there's a whole lot underneath here.
I'd feel a lot better if you knew how to use that gun, but here we are.
I pull out the gun. And try to play.
No! Everybody down.
Everybody takes a stress from that.
Okay.
But are we? Are you taking the money then?
My vote is the money.
Okay.
We can at least make what is its name? Benedict Bertrand.
Billups.
Billups.
Phillips.
We can make the Billupses whole at least, or at least partially.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, now that the ship has left the atmosphere, it would be quite the rush to get it down. And who are we but lowly tenders of the land? You know, with some hot meat pies, just 5-minute walk away.
I just don't trust them.
Yeah, of course not. They're corporation people.
It's true. Corpos.
But like,
yeah.
What do you want to do about it, Cormac?
I mean, we can take the money. I just am not sure that they're gonna leave.
Well,
we have no assurances that they're not gonna come back and keep doing stuff.
you're right. But like, we know where they're hanging out. We could just come back and shoot them. Do you want to shoot him, Cormac? Would you feel better if we took the money and shot
These
him?
guys go a little wide-eyed, and they're like, wait, we had a deal, okay?
I know we had a deal. I'm just asking.
I'm like staring at the gun and being like, it's kind of fun, I guess, a little bit, maybe.
Well, have you taken a life, Cormac? Have you ever stared a man in the eye and watched the life escape from him?
Can I say something at least? Like, I'm not comfortable with this line of questioning that you're putting into his head.
It's fair. This is a marketplace of ideas, all right? Like,
It's a marketplace of ideas. That's what the corporation taught us.
Right.
Well, we can circle back to that later.
This is just an aggressive negotiation.
Put a pin in it. But look, you have our word. We're leaving. If you don't see a VW starship over the horizon in an hour, in an hour, then you can come back and shoot us. But we were really basically done.
How does that sound, Cormac?
I mean, okay. You got oxygen tanks in here? Extra oxygen tanks? Sure you do.
You running low?
There has to be some about
I mean,
it.
we could get back. I think we got enough to get back.
We're staying here for the hour.
We're shaking this guy for like 25K.
You're going to give us the 25K. I'm going to sit here and learn how to twirl this gun for the next
20K.
hour.
I don't have more.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
then
say
3
20K.
each. Okay, so 23K altogether, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, that was correct. Yep.
So you're going to give us 30K, and then we're going to sit here for an hour.
We're going to watch an Annie Oakley show over here.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're going to sit here for an hour and watch you leave for sure.
All right. Fine.
Pack
We
it
have
up.
oxygen in here. You all want to sit and do nothing while you watch us pack up and leave. You're welcome to it.
I'm sure Cormac will find something to do.
Okay. For the sake of brevity on this, because I did get a text that I have to resolve something shortly, soonish. We will speed up that hour. They really do just work for Wuhan Baxter. They don't give a shit about the space. So yeah, they pack up within the hour. They'd rather live and
Awesome.
push everything away, transfer the credits over to Truck. You can distribute as you please. You got 23,000 credits if you want to just shoot everybody and walk out, but no.
Old Truck Russell's not going to do that.
No. As the dust storm passed above.
And as you return, the dust storm has left. Based on what they said, too, if the dust storm was caused by that, 800-something Renair leaving the atmosphere, it probably crossed over shortly after you guys walked into the tunnel.
So we're
Ain't
able
that
to
always how it
successfully...
is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not difficult to get back to the ranch, and Phillips isn't super pleased because they're all fairly attached to them, but he'll take the money because it is very helpful, and he's glad to know that whoever was doing it has left, and that you've got confirmation that they left.
Well,
I
and
know
he has a... Sorry.
And the birds aren't dead. They're going to live a fancy, fabulous... I feel like I would care. Like, they weren't killed.
Yeah, I think they kind of went to a ranch upstate, if you know what I mean. But, like...
That's true.
Yeah, they are still technically alive, if you can call that living.
Is Billups pleased at all by this?
He's not. He's very specifically not a fan of Wuhan Baxter.
Hey, who is, right? They're out here out on rim space, doing whatever they please, which I don't like. I pass him 20. I am giving him my cut that the WB guy gave me.
Okay. You pass him along 21K. Or, no, 18K. No, it was 21. And
21.
Then you
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gets 21K. He's like, it's not bad. It'll at least put us back in a good space.
I mean, we just want to make sure you're whole. That's a big hit. You got to take 40% of your head is
For sure.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
And you still have 1,200. That's, I mean, you're
It is a
sitting
good
pretty
bit.
on,
And
Unfortunately,
you
we
can breed,
missed
right? You got
like
breeding
breeding
stock?
season was 3 months ago, so I got to wait a little bit. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
You
be-
let me
we'll be
know
fine.
if you need any booze jerky, if you need anything set on fire. I'm right there for you.
you
If
got
you
it.
need one of 6 grenades, I still have them. So
Sounds like a hell of a 4th of July. Booze, fire,
Yeah.
and 6 frag grenades.
Well, if you want a gun show as well, and then I kind of,
Cormac.
I elbow Cormac in the side.
Oh. Everybody's feeling great. I have to be getting better at it at this point. Like, I've been doing it for like an hour straight.
Birds
That's-
everywhere.
Yeah, I'll say it's pretty competent at this point. It's a little too fumbly for Bellips's gun knowledge, especially knowing it's his gun. He's almost more worried about you just dropping it outright than shooting someone. But
Presumably, at
It's
some
not
point,
bad.
Truck turned the safety on, so I can do this without shooting. Not me.
I haven't gone anywhere near your gun, my friend. That is your
Fair.
gun.
Great,
If
good.
you want to mishandle it, that is your
Well,
prerogative.
Maybe Gary turned the safety on. Maybe this new form of Gary is intelligent enough to do
just
that.
yeah, it just keeps flicking it on every time Cormac bumps it.
Yeah.
Just following behind him.
Gary just became one of those hand monsters from
Beautiful.
Elden Ring. And just every once in a while, just turns on.
I pop another jerky out and I go, well, all in a afternoon on the ranch. Oh.
I'll drink to that.
Beautiful.
That's a spicy one.
And we will wrap a fairly short play session with that alcoholic jerky-ridden toast. But yeah, less of a maybe a little bit less of an actual play, and or just as much of an actual play, but less in depth of an actual play, and more just a showcase of some really neat monsters. Ended up seeing 5 of them from the book today. The Pukniev is part of Critters and Companions. One of my personal favorites from the thing. I'm a big mushroom fan. We were actually talking about that briefly on intermission, but yeah, no, it's
Thank you, man.
they are super good. I very much enjoy it without the need to really get into Mothership itself, because we will talk about Mothership when I do a 1E episode. But tell us, what are your plans? Because this will probably be pretty brisk because there's no mechanics present. Tell us about your plans for Critters and Companions. Tell us a little bit about. So we've got 30 monsters. How many are currently? How many currently have art to them? How many are working?
7, so 1/4. We're hoping to get at 6,000. We'll unlock all of them, and then like at higher than that, we're gonna get a new cover. But then also, I'm doing some more original art for the interior, like in those geology textbooks. I know that Truck loves geology. There's that one page that shows every single landform. It's like the one landscape with everything. Well, I did that. And then I just marked where every single animal lives. So there's going to be like easy references there. There's a breeding chart, speaking of the Renaires. There's migration patterns. There's how aggressive they are, how easy they are to handle, and more matrices and graphs beyond, other, directly visual art components. And then it's just chock full of lore and details and story hooks, like some of the ones that were introduced.
I actually really
Very
like
nice.
that from like a monster manual, quote unquote, perspective. The idea of having the additions of like breeding patterns and locational charts and things
Yeah.
that are actually tell you a little bit more about the, I guess, ecological form of the creature as opposed to just what they are and how they kill. Which is nice because they fit into a lot of things. I think the brief thing that I want to touch on, because I have very rarely gotten to talk about this on the top shelf. Talk to me about making something system agnostic. What is the decision to build something system agnostic as opposed to like take the easy route and like convert this into a 40 monsters for 5e specifically? That
to me, that's as alien as Mothership 1E. I mean, I I did not grow up on D&D. I've played it, I believe, once or twice. So I just really don't know what a system would look like that. And I think as someone, I went to like the Vandermeer's world building camp for several years doing collaborative world building. And I think that's like where my teeth were cut, was direct world building, like encyclopedic knowledge. And I feel like there's so much more flexibility in something that can be applied to any setting and that you don't have to tie stats to. Throughout the book, the stat blocks that I have are usually like low, high, or medium. And then with some additions like the Joikstroga is high if it's antlered in terms of damage it could do because of that piercing damage. But I don't have to get into more specifics than that. And as a writer, that gives me the freedom to spend more time on interesting animals and interesting, niches for them than having to do the math with like the things that we're discovering here with Mothership. Like, is this roll under? Is this a critical? Like, what happens when these certain conditions are met? And just more, how does it feel and how does it read?
I feel like it gives you a lot more opportunity to just create something that is malleable then to the world. Like the Pukniev and everything else are descriptive enough that they give you a lot of information to work off of, but they're not designed for a specific even time period. And you can take that creature and put it, on a moon and cybernetically augment it. It's not difficult to do by any means.
That's really good to hear. Yeah, I'm really hoping that that's the case for the entire book. And it's great to see a sci-fi version of the ones that I wrote originally for a fantasy world.
Yeah. Were all of these originally designed to be fantasy then?
Yeah, I don't want to go beyond. I believe my limit was 1780s technology, but that doesn't mean that that we won't that there won't be futures where we don't have more than 1780s technology. Like post-apocalyptic worlds, like this Wild West that we are seeing here on Karth, but they were also designed to be unrelated to each other. So although some might have more industrial tech, another one might be as simplistic that could be used in some kind of Bronze Age world as well.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And I guess you look at, like, if we use the Pukniev as example, as written, you could incept that into anything mystical, modern to technological, because it is a little bit kind of steeped in, it's man-made, but we don't know how, really. There's not enough descriptor there to really pigeonhole it into one direction or another, which is nice. So you said it's funding for another 25 days. When does that end exactly?
Yeah, that'll end on June 23rd. So yeah, another 25 days from now. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens. Awesome. I know that a system neutral guide just kickstarted this week, or just finished kickstarting this week, and the cults guide that that Marx was doing. And that to me just shows that there's a lot of interest in something that's system agnostic, encyclopedic, and kind of has a plug and play fashion for whatever.
Did the cults book finish funding?
It did, yeah.
Wow, that skyrocketed past where it was then, because it was like I was seeing it fairly low with a little time left. I'm really happy to hear that. I might have to go late back that then, because I was interested. I just my wallet, compromising my wallet, I didn't have the hope that one would come through because of where it was at.
It's tough,
which is sad, because I don't want to be that asshole who's like, it's not gonna make it, I'm not gonna fund it. But money was tight, so I had to make decisions, and I'm really glad that it worked out, because then I can go back it later.
Yeah.
But dope. No, I so super appreciate you being on the show. It was super nice to get to meet you and get to hear from you and see the book that you're working on. Once again, since this stream is rearing its twilight years, at least this particular stream, not the show in general, but this one episode is in its twilight years. You'll probably end up watching this on YouTube if you did not catch it today. So I will put the Kickstarter link and some more connection material to Pearse here in that, so you can find him on all of his at anywhere he makes good games. Or I understand you have a whole website of blog stuff.
I have an itch, and I need to update pearseanderston.com, because I'm a freelance game journalist as well.
Okay.
And so a lot of what I do is tied to looking at the industry from the outside, but now that I'm inside, it's like, oh, I could actually produce the games that I cover.
Fair.
And ethically, where that's going to be is going to be a mystery. But in terms of like what I present to others, I really need to update it. So yes, Twitter, Instagram, I'm sure everything will be in there. And I'm really excited to get this hopefully fully illustrated, fully released in a beautiful paperback this autumn.
Spectacular. Well, thank you again. Let's go ahead and grab outros from folks, unless you guys have any questions for Pearse before we head out. This one seems...
No, it was really cool. I just want to say that everything was really dope. I really liked reading about all these creatures, those hooks and everything. Like, really
Thank you,
well done.
Logan.
Yeah, really cool.
It was great to meet y'all. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I want to play more with the Wonderite to be like, what does it look like? How is this helpful in the circumstance? Like in a longer, I
These
feel
would
like
be
over a
delightful
longer
in
game with it.
himbos.
Yeah.
That would be a really good game to play with these with. No, so yeah, if we want to grab outros then real quick from everybody, we'll start in the same order. Go Max, Logan, and then Pearse, and then I'll round us off and see us away.
Yeah. I'm Max Lander. You can find me online at Max Lander on Twitter, and also I think Max Lander on Itch. You can find whatever. You can also find that on my Twitter.
Oh, I'm Logan. I wrote a game called The Company. You can find it at mega-corp.itch.io, where we have all of my fun experiments in vomiting games out in 24 hours, like Tremors 1990 and Extraction from Demon-Fucked Cleveland 1996. I'm on Twitter at L__Dean, the long L. Yeah, love being here.
Thank you, Logan. I'm Pearse Anderston. You can find me at Pearse Anderston. At Pearse Anderston, one word on everything. Pearse spelled like pears with an E, Anderson, S-O-N. I do mostly environmental food games, so you could get hopefully a print run of Recipe on Committish Paper, my one-player Jewish food simulator, this summer, and then if you back Critters and Companions, a print version of that as soon as possible. So excited to see y'all in cyberspace.
Spectacular. Thank you so much. And I have been Mads, your host for the evening. You can find me on Twitter at jkmadigan. And you can find me on itch at jkmadigan.itch.io. And the Wuhan Baxter references are references to The Company, which we played last year. We did a 3-part mini-series of it, and it's a delightful game. Go check out Logan's stuff. Go check out the Kickstarter for Critters and Companions, as well as the rest of Pearse's games on itch. I did check out the aforementioned game that my brain just fogged on the name of.
Recipe on Committish Paper?
Yes, which is delightful. I did take a look at that, and it was a lot of fun. And then Max, of course, makes good games too. I'll have links for everybody's itches down in the YouTube description, because y'all are fantastic designers. And we will see you, all you audience folks, in the next episode, where we are actually going to start another mini-series, ironically another sci-fi horror. I don't know how it ends up working out like that. But we are playing Death in Space, and we will be playing probably 3 to 4 parts of that. Breaking that down in a little bit more detail, because I know that was requested from the season shift. And then we will see you in 2 weeks to get started with some big spooks and some actual character development and stuff that I don't get to play around with one-shots. Take care, folks.